Chapter 30, Begin the Chase. Kumage-kure, Raikage's office. Within the office of the Raikage in Kumage-kure, a muscular man with slicked backs and blonde hair with matching pointed goatee and twin point tufts of hair on his upper lip, wearing blue shinobi pants with a golden belt as huge bangles that looked difficult to hold up for anyone who did not have a physique similar to the man. Finally, the man thought as he felt highly anxious about this breathtaking event before him, the last piece of paperwork. I just have to sign this document and... The surprise of the sudden quake had caused the man's brush to slash ink right across the document, completely ruining the paper as the inkwell had also been knocked over by the man's muscular arm. "Raikage-sama," said Akuma Ninja as he shoved the doors open, creating an echoing slam as the doors hit the walls. "There's the monster attacking the gate. B-sama is already confronting the monster as we." The ninja saw the man's brow twitch before seeing the ruined piece of paper on the desk and immediately knew that the monster was going to be the least of everyone's worries. The now identified Raikage stood up from his desk and looked out the window where he could see a dust cloud billowing towards the sky. Using a burst of speed, the man literally crashed through one of the glass windows as he dashed straight towards the dust cloud. The Kumo ninja said as he slowly backed away, "I'm just going to use the door." Konohagakure, Namikaze's estate. Pearl was looking through some of the pictures of Naruto's parents on their dates or even just relaxing at home on days off. "I wish you'd come back soon," Pearl whispered as she saw a picture of a proud Minato standing next a heavily pregnant Kushina, who was equally proud as well. "I don't want to rush your recovery, but things are too quiet without you and Steven." Yawn. "Morning, Pearl," said Naruto as he rubbed some of the sleep out of his eyes as he headed towards the kitchen for breakfast. "Morning, Naruto," Pearl said before she realized something. "Naruto, you're back." The pale gem gave Naruto a tight, loving hug as said blonde looked around. "Guess I am," Naruto said with a smile before he kissed Pearl's gem. "I miss you." Pearl looked up and looked into Naruto's shining cerulean eyes before she and her boyfriend went into a loving kiss, unaware of the audience watching them. "Good to see you're back, Naruto," Garnet said, her voice causing Naruto and Pearl to jump and separate from the suddenness, but she wasn't the only one who missed you. Naruto walked up to his mother and gave the tall gem a hug as he said, "I missed you too, Mom. I just hope Ruby Bachan and Sapphire Bachan didn't cause too much trouble." "Hey guys!" said an energetic voice as everyone looked to find Steven running down the stairs. "Steven," Pearl said with a huge smile on her face as she gave the younger gem a hug before she noticed something. "I see you've made some additions to your wardrobe." Steven chuckled a bit as he was still wearing the same shirt, jeans, and sandals with some added features and clothing. His shirt was still the same with the exception that a picture of Rose's shield was now seen in the middle of the star while a picture of Rose's sword were etched onto the shirt's sleeves. If one looked closer, a mesh shirt could be seen underneath the red shirt. Steven's Hittite was wrapped around his forehead while his hands now white fingerless gloves covering them. "Not bad," Naruto said as his own attire had changed as well. The blonde was now wearing a rust orange shirt under his vest and black shinobi pants and matching sandals. Like Steven, Naruto now had black fingerless gloves covering his hands that barely touched the two amber gems above them. The blonde was also wearing both of his Hittites as his Konoha Hittite was wrapped around his right bicep, like Garnet's, while his crystal gem Hittite was wrapped around his forehead. A knock was heard from the door as Pearl walked and opened the door to reveal an Anbu member standing before her. "May I help you?" Pearl asked as she remembered the Anbu member. "Lady Hokage wishes to see the crystal gems," the Anbu member said as she looked to see Naruto and Steven. "I see that Namikaze-san and Universe-san have returned. I think it's best if they come along as well. We have already sent for Amethyst-san and Lazuli-san." "We'll be there," Garnet said as she gave the Anbu a nod of understanding before turning to the others. "Let's go." Hokage's office. Tsunade sat behind her desk with her eyes closed and thought of what she had learned just recently while Jiraiya leaned against a wall adjacent to the desk. To think that old bastard would go behind Konoha's back all these years. The Godame growled sourly before the door opened to reveal the crystal gems approaching the desk. You called for us? Steven asked joyfully before getting a scolding nudge from Naruto. Indeed. Tsunade said as she let out some of her agitation through a sharp sigh. I'll just get straight to the point. We need you to either recover or destroy some information that involves the state of Konohagakure. However, that information is with Orochimaru. Orochimaru. Naruto gasped out in remembrance of the snake Sannin he had tangled with a couple of times. Your mission is to infiltrate one of Orochimaru's hidden labs and recover that information, Jiraiya said as he now stood next to the desk, but if you are unable to keep the data away from Orochimaru or his henchmen, destroy that data as it is too sensitive considering that Danzo had been feeding him that information, even before the Konoha Crush incident. A visible growl was heard from Naruto before Tsunade then said, we do have a slight advantage. The Godame looked at Lapis as she then said, thanks to Lapis Lazuli and Captain Yamato, one of the members of the Akatsuki, Sazori of the Red Sand, had a spy within Orochimaru's forces and was to meet up with said spy. But Sazori's dead, Lapis said as she shivered from the memory of that battle. I was there when he revealed that little bit of information. So what are we going to do? Steven asked in confusion. Sazori will meet up with that spy, Jiraiya said with a slight smirk on his face, and once the meeting is over, you are to follow the spy back to whichever lair he goes to. But what if the place we are going to doesn't have the information? Pearl asked with a professional look on her face. The spy is most likely someone that is close to Orochimaru, Tsunade said as she leaned forward on her desk, someone that has gained enough trust from that lowlife snake to be allowed access to such information. So he could have the data with him. Garnet said stoically as she crossed her arms in thought, not only that, but he could also lead us right into Orochimaru. No one said a thing as each was to their own thought about the mission. That is everything about the mission for Team Gem, so you can go ahead and get everything prepared. Tsunade said before directing her attention to Garnet, we would like to have a word with Garnet in private. The others went to leave when Garnet suddenly said, Steven. Said boy looked at the tall gem as she then said, you are to stay here. What? Steven said out in protest, why not? I'm a part of the Crystal Gems and a member of Team Gem, I have to go. If this were any mission with an ordinary foe, I would have allowed you to join us, Garnet said as she kneeled to Steven's level, but this is Orochimaru we are dealing with, a dangerous individual who has performed such monstrosities to his own people. Who knows what would happen if he were to capture you? Steven was about to protest, but he saw something shine behind the gem's glasses before he then said, okay. But please be careful. After gently ruffling the young boy's hair, Garnet stood on her feet and watched her team head out of the office before turning her attention to Tsunade and Jiraiya. What is it you wish to talk to me about? Orochimaru's hidden lab. Peridot was watching over a sparring match between Haku and one of the other shinobi that was resurrected as a gem due to Sasuke's jutsu. This warrior was wearing forest green pants and shinobi sandals while his muscular chest was exposed underneath the vest that was a mixture of dark and light greens. The warrior also wore neon green leg and arm warmers as the Kiyakatsuki symbol was seen on the warmers in the back of the vest. A malachite gemstone could be seen on the back of his right shoulder. Malachite, formerly known once as Zabuza Momeki, is showing better control of his power. Peridot said mostly to herself as she recorded her findings on her screen, his reckless fighting style leaves much to be desired as it reminds me much too like Jasper's. Watch that tongue of yours. Zabuza threatened as he pointed the Kubika Ribicho towards the homeworld gem, if not for that seal placed on me, I would have made sure you showed me respect. Peridot just scoffed the threaded off as Zabuza and Haku continued their spar while Kabuto approached her. We have orders from Orochimaru-sama. Kabuto said as he kept his distance from the woman, we leave immediately. The gem let out a dissatisfied growl as the screen disappeared before flexing her fingers. Very well. Peridot reluctantly said as she kept her focus on the two before her, I gathered enough data for the moment. Malachite. Aquamarine. The two artificial hybrids stopped their battle and stood at attention as the homeworld Jim then said, I shall be heading out, you know your orders. Yes, Peridot-san. Both Zabuza and Haku answered with militaristic professionalism. After the two hybrids left, Peridot turned towards Kabuto before following the shinobi through the hallways. Let's just make this quick as I have some important experiments to conduct for Lord Bloodstone. The Jim disdainfully said, only to get no response from Kabuto. At least one that she couldn't see. You will soon learn to show respect to Lord Orochimaru. Kanahigakure, gates. Team Jim and Yamato were at the gate as Steven, his father, Lapis, and Connie decided to see them off. You guys got everything, right? Steven asked as he was still wishing that he could go. Of course. Pearl said with a small, confident smile on her face, we're even prepared for an extended trip should it arises. Naruto and Garnet both remained silent as who knows just what could happen on this mission. This is Orochimaru they were talking about. Don't worry, Amethyst said as she placed a hand on both Naruto and Garnet, we have the G Squad here, but Naruto as well, nothing could go wrong. You just jinxed us. Naruto thought as he resisted the urge to facepalm himself. Wait. Said a new voice as everyone looked to see Lee running towards them with a cloth sack in his hands. After stopping, the Taijutsu expert handed the sack over to Amethyst and said, I was hoping I could catch you before you had left on your mission. I made you a packed lunch in case you should be on your own. Lee also reached into one of his leg warmers and pulled out a nunchuck and handed it to the purple gem as he then said, I also wish to give you one of my personal weapons to aid you in any battle. Sweet. Amethyst said as she spun the weapon around, nearly hitting Naruto and Pearl as they flinched away in time, thanks. Hold up. Said another voice as everyone looked to see Kiba and Akamaru running towards them, I have something for Amethyst. The Inuzuka stopped in front of Amethyst and handed her a cloth bag, smaller than Lee's gift, and said, these are special soldier pills that you can use should you need an extra boost at any given moment. Thanks you too. Amethyst said with a huge grin on her face, I know that this mission will be a blast. Just what we need, Pearl thought as her eye began to twitch, Amethyst going on another sugar high with weapons that aren't even hers again. This is a disaster already dangerously too close to massive destruction, Naruto thought as he had to suppress a shiver. Alright, Yamato said as he drew the team's attention, let's head on out. Team Gem nodded before everyone rushed out of the gate and headed towards their destination. There they go, Greg said as he scratched the back of his head, hopefully nothing too bad happens. I'm sure that they'll be fine, Mr. Universe. Connie said with a smile that hid her concern for the team. Aside from Naruto, Pearl, Garnet, and Amethyst, Yamato should be able to really help them with this mission. At least it'll be a bit quieter around here. Lapis said as she couldn't help but feel like something was amiss. Soldier pills? Lee scolded Kiba as he gave the Chunin in question a challenging glare. Why would you give a girl soldier pills? To help her fight, as why would I give her a weapon if she already has one? Kiba countered with a challenging glare of his own, she has that whip and I've seen her summon it many times before. If you really wanted to protect her, you should have given her armor instead. So that none could ever see the beauty that she has? Lee said as he and Kiba soon began to push each other with their foreheads, all that armor would just be a useless burden on her. Spoke too soon. Lapis thought as she face-palmed in disappointment, but still felt like she was being watched. Tenshai Bridge. A hunched-over figure wearing a black cloak with red clouds adorned on it was at the center of the bridge while a huge, mechanical tail could be seen traveling from the back of his cloak. About time you got here. The man said with a low growl in his voice as a cloaked figure approached him. So what have you to tell me about that disgusting former associate of mine? I have learned plenty from Orochimaru and Sasuke Akatsuki, the figure said as he lowered his hood to reveal his identity, Kabuto Yakushi. Orochimaru had taken an interest of the former Uchiha's new abilities as well as the abilities and knowledge that was provided by a new addition, a green-skinned woman by the name of Peridot. I do not recall anything mentioned about this. Peridot woman working for Orochimaru. The hunchback figure said with a distasteful attitude, "What can you tell me about her? Why don't you ask her yourself?" Kabuto said with a smirk as a green serpent launched itself from the ninja's collar. At that same time, Naruto, Pearl, and Amethyst rushed out of the forest while Garnet quickly jumped out from underneath the bridge as the serpent suddenly changed into Peridot. "Did you really think you can fool me, Konoha?" Kabuto said with a smirk as the hunched man suddenly changed into Yamato. "I've been working for Orochimaru even before Sasori recruited me. We knew of your plan and much more thanks to our own little spy." Yamato scowled a bit as Konoha's secrets were now in more danger than before, as who knows just what that spy was feeding them. "You've got a lot of nerve showing your face around here," Pearl said as she summoned her spear in an attempt to stab through Peridot. "You crystal clods have no idea of the forces that Lord Bloodstone is capable of," the green gem countered as she jumped away to dodge Pearl's attack before using her blaster to hit Amethyst in the face. "He has already demonstrated his newfound powers thanks to the knowledge that Orochimaru had given him. Lord Bloodstone is far more stronger than those two abominations, Naruto and Steven." "You haven't seen anything yet," Naruto said as he summoned his claws before launching a few spikes towards Peridot, gem style, crystal needles. Peridot just barely dodged the attack as one of the spikes had scratched her calf before getting caught in Amethyst's whip. "Gotcha," the purple gem said as she tightened her grip before giving her weapon a quick flick, creating a wave of energy that traveled through the vine. Using her fingers to create a rod, Peridot stabbed her new weapon into the ground right as the wave of energy got close, which had redirected the attack straight into the ground. Kabuto quickly got away from Yamato's woodjutsu and cut the green gem free with his chakra-enhanced scalpel, right as Garnet slammed her knuckles into the ground where the two were once standing. The dust soon settled to reveal Kabuto and Peridot standing a few meters from the small crater, lightly dusting themselves from the attack. "As much as we love to play with you kids," Kabuto said with a smirk on his face. "But we best be on our way," Peridot said as she and the ninja with her turned around too. "Don't think so," Naruto said as he was suddenly before the duo in jet mode, completely surprising the two. Acting quickly, Kabuto and Peridot jumped into the air and towards the side before going into a running dash. "Don't let them escape," Garnet and Yamato barked out at the same time as Naruto quickly vanished through pure speed. Such speed! Yamato thought in surprise at what he had witnessed. He could rival even his own father and Tobirama with that kind of power. Kabuto and Peridot continued to run until an orange blur sped past them as Naruto suddenly clotheslined the two of them, causing the two to fall and tumble on the ground. "How the hell did you catch up to us?" Kabuto roared out as he and Peridot picked themselves up. "I've never seen such speeds like that," the green gem said as she messaged her neck, "You were never that fast before." Before Kabuto could act, Naruto had suddenly gave the ninja a punch to the side of his face that caused him to crash into a now panicked Peridot. Has he mastered the legendary Hiershin? Kabuto thought before Peridot was suddenly knocked into him while orange blurs kept flashing about in his vision. "I can't keep track of him." Peridot tried her best to keep her sights on Naruto, but she kept losing track every time she would see him while Kabuto would crash into her or she would get hit by some attack. "Perhaps this'll slow you down," the homeworld gem said as she quickly charged her blaster before firing it into the ground, creating a large cloud of dust. Naruto stopped momentarily to shield his eyes from the dust in the air, allowing Peridot the chance to escape as her fingers began to spin around until the gem was hoisted into the air, with Kabuto hanging onto her other arm. "So long, crystal clods!" Peridot called out as she cackled madly while flying away with the Oto ninja in tow. Seeing two red fists flying towards them, Kabuto quickly pulled Peridot with enough force to move her out of the attack range. "Watch it!" the homeworld gem growled out in anger while correcting herself. "You watch it!" Kabuto countered, just as angry as Peridot. "We almost got hit because of your cockiness. Now go faster!" I'd love to, but your extra weight isn't helping, Peridot said as she tried to pull her arm up, nor your clinging onto my other arm helping. Kabuto soon felt a sharp pain in his ankle and looked to find a golden claw grabbing him with a chain attached to it as it traveled towards the ground. There, Kabuto saw the other end of the chain coming from one of Naruto's gems as said blonde was trying to pull them down. The Oto ninja quickly pulled out some shuriken and threw them towards Naruto. The blonde quickly dodged a few of them before two of them had found themselves in Naruto's shoulders. Naruto! Pearl said as she, Garnet, and Amethyst grabbed the chain and began to pull, dragging Peridot and Kabuto towards the ground. Striking Shadow Snake! Kabuto roared out as multiple snake leapt from one of his sleeves and traveled down the chain. Not wanting to risk the snakes biting and poisoning him or the others, Naruto quickly disconnected the chain before aiming his two gems towards Peridot and Kabuto. Just got one shot. Naruto thought as his gems began to brightly glow and the spikes on his arms began to spin around. Air and dust swirled around Naruto as the spikes were now spinning at blinding speed while blades of pure air slashed through the air. Yamato was about to get the blonde's attention, but Garnet stopped him before grabbing a small rock and lightly tossed it towards Naruto. Clash! The Anbu captain couldn't help but flinch a little as the small stone was cut in twain and deflected due to how fast and sharp the air was around Naruto. Gem style, Naruto said with what breath he could hold onto, Sonic Bolt. The golden gem flashed briefly as a beam of solid energy was launched from the ambers and flew towards Peridot and Kabuto in the form of a giant arrow. Time moved slowly as each had their own thought about the beam with all of them reaching the same conclusion, it was fast and it was powerful. Peridot quickly tried to move out of the bolt's flight path, but due to the extra weight added by Kabuto, she was just barely able to avoid the attack. Clash! Just barely. What the? Pearl asked as even though the bolt had pierced right through Peridot's arm, the homeworld gem's arm just fell apart like a toy smashed into the ground. Revealing a smaller hand that was once seen as an elbow. Damn it! Naruto cursed as his claws vanished and his body heaving due to it trying to gather as much air as possible. I missed. The blonde had almost hit the ground, but Garnet had managed to catch the now unconscious Naruto. Come on! Yamato said as he rushed past and towards the still flying Peridot and Kabuto, with the Oto ninja now holding onto the homeworld gem's ankle. We have to follow them before they alert Orochimaru. Garnet nodded as she hefted her son onto her back before she, Amethyst and Pearl followed the Anbu captain. Orochimaru's hidden lab. Sasuke was in deep meditation within a darkened room with the only source of light was from the few candles in the room and the eerie rhythm from his crystal heart. They're following them. Bloodstone said as he and Sasuke both had sensed a presence in the far distance. Sasuke didn't say a word, but the vampiric gem read the boy's thoughts. I doubt this Naruto is as powerful as Amber, the gem sagely said with a smug attitude before becoming serious. But you must still exercise caution as he wields the power of the only one that I would dare consider my equal. The former Uchiha once again said nothing as his thoughts drifted elsewhere. Still thinking about that missing key? Bloodstone asked as specific images appeared in Sasuke's head. Although you had succeeded in not only resurrecting once dead ninja, but completely transforming them as your own servants, you still want to have a fusion on your team. It is nearly impossible, even if I should say so myself, but there is a sliver of hope. Sasuke heard the vampiric gem chuckle before Bloodstone said, maybe we can obtain the key from the very source itself. But deeper within. The former Uchiha finally opened his eyes as he then said, time for one last test.
Hey guys, what's going on? Thank you so much for watching today's episode. If you guys want to watch more like it, please subscribe to my channel and become part of the video game fanfiction plot. And please leave a comment down below and hit that like button. If you guys have any suggestions on any stories you guys want me to read, don't hesitate. They're always welcome here in the video game fanfic plot. That also goes for video games. Until next time, goodbye!